Hello everyone, this is Charles and Sybil with Love Dave Dare number 27.
And day 27 says, love encourages.
Our scripture for today is Psalms 25 and 20. Guard my soul and deliver me. Do not let me be ashamed, for I take refuge in you.
Oh, to be an encouragement, to have someone who's got your back. And I know it's important for both people in the relationship, but I can say from a man's perspective that we don't often tell you, but we live on encouragement.
Yes, I do know that, dear.
Live on it.
Marriage has a way of...
On it.
Okay. Marriage has a way of altering our vision. You know, we go in expecting our mate to fulfill all our hopes and dreams and to make us happy. But you know, it's really an impossible thing that we ask for our spouses to do. Unrealistic expectations breed disappointment.
The question for some of us is, could you even live up to your own expectations? You know, if you look at this thing and say, I don't even know if I can do that. Mm-hmm. How in the world can you ask someone else to do that? Because he says that to live by encouragement rather than to live by expectations, because expectations automatically come with limitations. But encouragement will lift somebody up beyond where they are or where they can even see themselves being.
Right. And they mentioned it in the book, honey, but I remember that's one thing that we decided to do in our marriage is just to allow each other to be human.
Oh, yes. Since I is one.
I is one.
I'm a human being.
All day long.
That's what he said, done slick. Human beings. I've been a human. For as long as I've been here. But, you know, hey, if you don't allow your spouse to be human, what happens is, again, it sets up boundaries. And we find these little boxes and caves that we can dwell in, and we never venture out. We never see the light of day of possibility when we get bound up and caged up and caved up into these false expectations.
Exactly. And they mentioned in the book, the way your spouse has been for the last few years is likely to be what he or she will be in the future, apart from your loving encouragement and an intervention from God.
Well, love will, again, will make you reach out. Love will make you want to aspire to another level. I often tell women that, hey, you know, women will see a man's capabilities at a true 10. And a man's 10 most of the time is a woman's 2 or 3. So when we get to 10, they don't give us the kind of encouragement that we need to move on to another level. But I'm telling you, whatever he does, if you give that man the encouragement, if you let him know that he is your king and that you love him, you can't imagine being with anyone other than him, then all of a sudden he'll begin to do things that you can't even begin to imagine.
And we call that giving him a biscuit.
Yes.
So give him some biscuits.
Yeah, I like mine fluffy.
There was this scripture in the Bible where Jesus talked about the speck and the log. I know you guys know that one, but I'll read it. Matthew 7:4-5. How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, and behold, the log is in your own eye? You hypocrite. First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye.
He said, don't be a speck inspector.
Yeah, don't be. Are you a speck inspector?
Are you an inspector? Specking on the specks, inspecting the specks. See who's doing what? But again, looking at yourself, hey, what have I contributed? Because I guarantee you, if anything happens, you are a part of it. Right. Whether, I'm not saying who's to blame and who's at fault, but it took two to do whatever took place. And you can best believe that you were a part of it. And you have to ask yourself, what part did I play in this? And then oftentimes, even when you see that your spouse may have come up a little short, you can encourage them on to another level. It works the same way in athletics. They encourage each other to, what did I say?
Teach other?
Yeah, teach each other. They encourage each other to higher levels. There we are. What was that?
That was a good one, though. Perhaps when we talk about the problem that's going on, we say it's not with me, but it's with my spouse. Mm-hmm. You know, if they do come up short, like Charles said, you know, why is that, you know, your fault? You know, as far as you're concerned, it takes both of you doing everything you can do to make marriage work. If your mate doesn't want you to be so critical, they need to realize that the issues you bring up are legitimate. You're not saying you're perfect, but by any means, but it does seem like you should be able to say what you think, right?
It all sounds good.
It sounded real good. So I got off in there.
It don't always work out the way you want it to work out.
You can't have that kind of attitude. You cannot do it.
Because the challenge is those types of attitudes that both of you all have will cancel each other out.
Exactly. And so you're not able to respond to criticism. Wait a minute. The problem with this kind of attitude is that few people are able to respond to criticism with total objectivity. When it seems clear that someone is unhappy with you, whether by direct confrontation or the silent treatment, it's hard not to take their displeasure personally, especially in marriage. So if you're constantly going up to your mate and saying, you know, hey, I'm all right, it's you. I'm going to take that a little personal.
No, it's you.
It's you.
No.
We got an issue, and it's you.
I need a tissue. It says you never expected that this man or woman who promised to love you could get to where they didn't even seem to like you after a while.
But you know, we talk about that love and like phenomenon in our relationship.
Well, you know, we always say, hey, I don't like you all the time. About 75% is really good.
Yeah.
You know, my goal is to love you 100% of the time, understanding that in allowing each other to be human, I'm not going to like you 100% of the time, but, you know, that's okay.
It's okay, dear.
Oh, absolutely. But I said, love will cause you to believe for the best in others and work toward the best in yourself.
Yeah.
So then, while you're being human, you're going to try to work to be a better human for your spouse.
Now, you know, when we first got married, we wanted to listen and make changes because, you know, it was all new and fluffy to us. But as time goes by, when your mate starts to show some disapproval, it entrenches you into kind of a rebellion.
Oh, yeah.
And rather than making you want to correct things, it makes you want to dig in even deeper.
It's like football. You're in your three-point stance. I'm ready. Hey. I'm coming out the blocks on you.
Hey.
I'm coming at.
Love is too smart for that, though. Instead of putting your mate in a position to rebel, love teaches you to give them the room to be themselves.
Oh, and you know, you're going to see that it's a unique friendship designed by God Himself, where two people live together in flawed imperfection, but deal with it by encouraging each other, not discouraging them.
Encourage, discourage, you know.
Have the courage to encourage. Oh yeah.
Don't you want don't you want your marriage to be a place where you can enjoy free expression of who you are, growing within a safe environment that encourages you even when you fail?
And as you love your spouse, hey, you know those words that encourage you. You know those things that touch their heart. I would say reach out to those things that touch their heart and begin to encourage them in their strengths and not always bring attention to their weaknesses. Be that helpmeet that covers even those weaknesses that they have and encourages those strengths. Because I tell you, again, it takes courage to encourage.
And it says, make a commitment to daily let go of unrealistic expectations and become your spouse's greatest encourager. And the person they are created by God to be will begin to emerge with a new confidence and love for you.
And today's dare is, eliminate the poison of unrealistic expectations in your home. Think of one area where your spouse has told you you're expecting too much and tell them you're sorry for being so hard on them about it. Promise them you'll seek to understand and assure them of your unconditional love.
Unconditional.
Unconditional.
And tomorrow, day 28, is
Love Makes Sacrifices. So, get online with us. Come on out to strikingconversations.com. Get logged in and registered. We're still doing the Love Dare Bible study. We're on not Facebook, but Twitter. There we are. Twitter, YouTube, and
Facebook.
And Facebook. Yeah. We're trying to hit them all. So catch us somewhere. We love you.
Bye-bye.